So, hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kim Lee, and I'm the owner and founder of Forge. We are a co-working space, and we are at the Pizzitz building in downtown Birmingham. And so we are a membership-based business. We have businesses in our space that are small to large, all different kinds, but mainly the majority of our members are people who have been working at home and really wanted a place to come and have an office space, a professional workspace, and take advantage of the community that we have in our space. So now everybody who had wanted those is now forced to work from home. And so during this time, we have really tried to provide content for our members and other business owners in our community that's really relevant to what's going on right now. So part of our model at Forge is that we do always provide education. We love being a part of the ecosystem in Birmingham, just to provide that education and community and support for small business owners, entrepreneurs, even remote workers. And so now we've taken to Zoom with everybody else to provide webinars. Really, we want to provide content that's really going to help you in this time to help really accelerate and launch your business as we're moving forward and transitioning into what's coming next. So today we're very excited to have Russell and Amber Hooks with Happenings in the Ham with us. Russell and I went through a program by Create Birmingham called Co-Starters, which is like a mini incubator / launch pad / business development program for new businesses and new ideas. So that is how we met, and Russell and Amber were one of the first members at Forge, but Russell has grown, and Russell and Amber together have grown an amazing brand in Birmingham called Happenings in the Ham, and you can follow them on Instagram. Sorry, I just had to turn the ringer on my phone off, but they just do an amazing job promoting all things Birmingham. And so Russell and Amber have taken time today to be here to share with us like what we can be doing, what you as business owners and as employees can be doing now during this weird time of social distancing to really work on your social media and launch your business forward and be prepared for when we do get to reopen and what business is going to be like in the next couple weeks, months, but to put yourself in a really great position. So we would love for you what it's going to look like. We have, I'm sure that everybody is very familiar with Zoom by now, but there is a chat option. So definitely if you want to pop in, tell us who you are, where you are, what you do. And then if you have any questions, put them there. You can also use the Q&A format. And we will try to get to your questions, try to get to all the questions at the end. We will have a time at the end for Q&A, so definitely leave them there. And yeah, we're so excited for y'all to be here today. Thank you. We are trying to continue to do these webinars. So next week, we also will have a webinar with a guy named Kevin Whelan. He runs Everspace. It's a marketing firm. And so we work with him. He helps us with strategy and thinking through. And so he is going to be talking with us about things that you can do now to really help your marketing efforts. So kind of going on the same thing of what we can be doing marketing wise for our business, but he will be looking at other areas besides social media. So you will receive that in the follow-up email as well. But now I'm going to turn it over to Russell and Amber. Thank y'all, and we can't wait to learn from y'all.
Thanks so much. Hey, our cat has already made a cameo.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there she goes. Right.
But thank you so much for having us, Tim. Thank you to you, Forge, Kelsey, everyone. It's just so nice to have this opportunity to interact for our sakes. I put on a call today and stayed. So we're just gonna take a little time to talk about how you can interact with social media and use this social distancing. It's a great opportunity to kind of up your social media skills. And of course, I'm loving seeing everyone pop up. Yeah. Amy, Audrey, Brad, Flashbar.
Dad.
Oh, hey, Dad. Ignore his chat comments.
No.
But yeah, it's going to hop on here.
And share our screen.
Amber's got this. She is the.
We'll do straight up PowerPoint. Okay, and we will.
All right. So.
Let me make sure. Hold on. Oh.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. So social distancing brings social media opportunities. I thought this was a great title because there are plenty of opportunities. One thing that we hear a lot from business owners is I just don't have time to do social media. I'm busy doing all this stuff, from 6 a.m. in the morning until sometimes, 8 p.m. at night. Well, now since business has been altered a lot and affected, people find they have a lot more time to dabble on social media. So we figured we'd talk about that.
Okay.
So, all right. And now with the COVID crisis, I feel like there are 3 phases we've hit so far. There was the initial chaos. Amber, one day, she's working from home right now, which is great with her job. And I was sitting on the sofa and she was working in our office, and she was just seeing me get all these notifications of canceled events, postponed events, just left and right. It was crazy.
It was chaos.
So there was that initial chaos of what is going on. Then there was uncertainty of how long is this going to last. Is it a week? Is it a month? Whatever. And once everyone kind of got on the same page about the social distancing, we've kind of adapted to our current new normal, which,
it's been like 6 weeks now?
Yeah, it's been about 6 weeks. Wow. She hasn't killed me yet, which is great, y'all.
There's still time. I'm just kidding.
There is still time. So, but one thing I like to talk about is don't dwell on what you can't control. Focus on what you can control. And the one thing you can control is your social media. You can control how you interact with your followers, what they see, what you're putting out there. Just being positive. And so we'll talk some about that. All right, so we're going to talk about a few different points. There's so much opportunity to change up your social media game right now. Tons of opportunity to do that. So Amber, which points do you want to go through here today?
We'll be talking about staying visible, getting personal, sharing helpful info, and
You can share your Instagram stories.
Yep.
And then Amber and I are in a group of local bloggers and influencers.
So, being in Birmingham, we're all about community. And so we kind of connect with our local Birmingham influencers and stuff. And so we had a chat like this, a Zoom call like this recently. And it was great hearing their feedback about these different platforms, because we always try to stay on top of things. And they said that the IGTV, for whatever reason, they love it because they get the most feedback, the most comments, the most views, because Instagram is pushing that out there because it's their own, platform.
Yeah, definitely want to link your Facebook page with your Instagram account, business page. That way it'll ask you, do you want to share this on Facebook as well? And so you can share the same content to Facebook, but then you want to go back in and edit it. Because if I tag Work at Forge on Instagram and I share it to Facebook, that tag's not going to be the same as their Facebook tag. So I have to go back in, erase the @Work at Forge and tag them on Facebook. Also, if I'm using hashtags on Instagram, I'll use more than I would on Facebook because Facebook's not as hashtag friendly.
Right.
So I take off some of those extra hashtags and just customize it to the platform. So if you're sharing your Instagram post to Facebook, that's fine. You just want to go in and tailor it after the fact and clean it up a little bit so it looks at home on that platform.
Right.
And Twitter.
Sorry.
I was going to say Twitter is great for sharing up-to-date information. So, hey, so-and-so has curbside, or hey, there's a small batch of beer being served at Trim Tab today only. That's a great way to use Twitter to see those initial interactions. Yeah.
booths and they do workouts. So what are you doing? Can't people in there? So they're doing things online. They want to stay visible. They want to stay in front of your mind so that when this is all over or whatever our new normal is going to be after this, that you remember them. And so we have a friend, his name's Chris Davis, and around noon each day, he has this thing that he just started. It's called Walking Around with Chris. So he just walks through different parts of Birmingham, and he's a comedian and does improv. He's so hilarious. And he's just walking around with his fun commentary about little things. And it's just a fun way to be creative with his type of content. I mean, he's a local comedian. He can't put on shows. You can't pay to go see him right now. So he's just putting that content.
It's like we can comment and he can comment back.
Yeah.
So it's hilarious. It's fun. It's just a creative way. We also, like Home and Bagel Company, they were handing out sidewalk chalk. So you could like chalk your sidewalk and tag and share and all that.
Yeah.
And so we did a fun little IGTV of us baking a bagel dough pizza, and I need to work on my skills for that.
See, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be.
It was fun.
It's creative.
So.
Oops, hold on. Next slide.
There we go. Get personal. Gary Vaynerchuk, I love me some Gary V. He said the other day that kindness is the new currency. He couldn't be more right, because right now kindness goes such a long way. Everyone's looking for that connection. Everyone is looking to, just have some kind of interaction, and really just for people to share good deeds and share what they're doing. So there's so much, so many great organizations in Birmingham, which we'll get to in just a second. They're doing so much for the community, frontline heroes and stuff like that, that you can share that. And also, don't be afraid to connect on a personal level.
Absolutely.
So like how, if you're sharing a struggle or something like that, don't be afraid to do that. You can be the face of your brand as well. So we first started.
When we first started Birmingham like 5 years ago, we're all about Birmingham. We were just going to make it all about Birmingham. We did not have our faces on there at all. And it was funny because people would comment like, there's no way that you guys went to this many events. Like, you must be sending a team of people out there. And we're like, a team? So then one day we decided to do a proof of life selfie at each event. And that's really when our brand started to take off. So then we realized that for us, being personal in the beginning or throughout is what works for us. So,
right. People are just like, what are Russell and Amber up to? And we're like, okay, here's what we're doing. And just being ourselves. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. Amber's super sarcastic, right? So, but all right, she's like, keep going. Also, again, like I said before, share your successes and your struggles. So everyone is struggling through this. We're all kind of muddling our way through, and it's okay to share that, but also share a positive how you're overcoming that. So you want to tell people, how, like, okay, I'm working from home. I'm not at Forge, and let's say you have kids, they're running around the house, and you're not used to your new coworkers, or we have pets that are going crazy. So how are we adapting to that, and just sharing tips, because guess what? There are probably a whole bunch of people out there, they're dealing with the same issue you're dealing with, and they would love suggestions and input, and you can bond over that. Yeah. So that's always good.
And while things might not be perfect, that's okay. It's okay, because I don't think it's perfect for anyone right now.
No. And that applies to your social media content as well. Don't worry about making it look crisp and perfect and pristine. Just be out there and do something and connect. And as you do that, you're going to get more comfortable. You definitely will improve. I mean, we started out just figuring things out as we went, and that's really the best way to do it. You get more comfortable with it.
So yeah, as this relates to social media too, like my personality is more of a perfectionist, so I have an issue with starting things. I don't want to do things unless I know I can do it 110% and it's going to be completely perfect. I don't want anyone to see the finished product until it's, absolutely. And then I end up not doing things because I'm scared to fail or to put that out there. But it's okay.
So one of my favorite quotes is, perfection is the enemy of progress. If everyone waited for it to be perfect, we wouldn't have progress. So
that's true.
There we go.
I have to tell myself that. I need to write that on
my
video.
Right. All right. So sharing helpful information. So sharing is caring, especially now. And you can share what others in the community are doing to help. There are so many great organizations that are doing so much for the community. BHAM Cares, they're helping provide food for hospital workers. Frontline Heroes doing the same thing. You have the Birmingham Strong hashtag, which is highlighting stuff like this. BHAM Nom Nom, great menu source for finding who's doing curbside, weighing and what they're serving. So yeah, so you can just share that on your platform and give them a shout out, help spread the love.
And it kind of gives people hope too that Birmingham is in this together. The Birmingham area, we're all in this together. So sharing this information, while it may not directly relate to you, like Beham Nom Nom, even if you're not a restaurant or somebody that works in the restaurant industry, that just is reassuring to everybody else that we're all a community.
I had someone ask me the other day, hey, do you have any information about curbside? And I was able to share that link and say, here you go. And they had no clue it existed. So I shared it. So that was very helpful to them. Also, offering free advice or services virtually. This is a great example. Why free? Why? Because you're interacting, you're building rapport, you're making connections. You cannot put a price on making those connections and bonding with people during this time. It's all about, just like we talked about Chris Davis doing his walks, it's about just helping people have an escape, helping them out through this, helping each other. So that's why you do it and just offer it up there and put it out there. We've seen things from like workouts that the fitness studios are doing, cooking demos, DJ sessions. Like Harris Stewart at Trim Tab has done DJ sessions inside Trim Tab he puts on Facebook Live. And Amber and I will like sit out in the backyard and turn on Facebook Live and listen to this DJ session while, just hanging out and relaxing. It's so much fun.
And, these are just fun ways while they're doing it for free. It will also, again, be at the forefront of people's mind when this is all over, knowing that somebody put that free service out there to help them through a time. You don't know what everyone else's, their personal struggles that they're going through either. Mm-hmm. And this just really, you may be creating a customer in the future.
You really are. Mm-hmm. And that's invaluable. And of course, I will say, while sharing is important, don't contribute to COVID overload. Your inbox, all of y'all's inbox, probably like mine, when this first happened, every other subject line, if not almost everyone, was COVID-19 update, how COVID's affecting this. It just became this full flood of, COVID-related stuff. And what I recommend doing is that if it's hyper-local, so if Mayor Woodfin is sharing something that has to do with Birmingham businesses, that's something helpful. But you just want to be cautious not to just make it all about that, because people will see enough of that all around. But if it's hyper-local and it applies to your business or your industry or your friends, feel free to share it and use that BHAM Strong hashtag. There's also BHM COVID hashtag that's appropriate, but just make sure that it's a credible, like the JCBH logo we have there, that's a credible source that you can then share. And of course, growing an engagement following. Okay, I love this photo. Amber took it, and we'll get to that in a second. But okay, this is part that's going to be especially helpful just from now through just the life of your social media content, because following and commenting on hashtags on Instagram is a great way to engage during this time. So how do you follow a hashtag? For those who don't know, you go to the search bar. You can search by profiles, locations, hashtags. You search a hashtag, you hit follow. So if you're following hashtag BHAMStrong, then those posts that incorporate that hashtag will show up on your Instagram feed as if a follower of yours or someone you're following has posted it.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to engage. Doing so already, you should follow your own hashtag.
Yeah.
So
if you have your own hashtag, you follow
it. Yes, your own hashtag, but definitely follow it. That way, you'll see when people post about you. So it'll show up on your feed. Also, you should go in, every day or so and check who's used your hashtag, and you can comment on them and say like, "Hey, thanks," or make a personalized comment on that post because they took the time to use your hashtag, and that's a big deal. Also, using location searches to engage with potential followers.
Yeah, when Russell and I first started out, we would spend like 30 minutes a night just, as we were scrolling through TV. We would also be on our phone and we would search like Railroad Park, and we would interact with all those that are in Railroad Park because we assume that those that visit Railroad Park and tag them in the location are Birmingham lovers or potential Birmingham lovers. So we would definitely want for them to be our potential followers. So for instance, we saw somebody that's joined us on the call today that works at a church. So make sure that you then later go and search for that location tag of that church, and anyone that has tagged that location, just interact with them. A sincere comment, a like, or we enjoyed having you, something like that, and you are creating those potential followers.
Right. And just like used to, you could do just like a thumbs up or something emoji, and it would count. Instagram is kind of adjusted the algorithm where like a full sentence gets more traction than just like one emoji or something like that. However, another thing is, again, Amber, when we grew our following organically, it was us sitting there, and this is a good way to find people who aren't following you and to engage with them by using those locations and entering in those comments. And like she said, we would sit in front of the TV and just search the location and put a legitimate comment like, "Oh, I love that view," amazing shot, that kind of thing. And as well, when you're doing that and you're searching that location, it's just very helpful. Like people will see that and they will interact and follow you back. So yeah. And of course, cross-promoting with posts and stories using tags.
Yeah.
Okay, so this brings us to our photo. Amber, you want to talk about the photo?
What? No. So, we saw on Instagram at Sidewalk Film Festival where they were doing curbside concession packages like this. And Russell and I had already planned on staying in that night. Well, obviously, we're planning on staying in because we have to, but and to watch a movie. So we went up to Sidewalk. We got us some popcorn, which was amazing because I missed movie theater popcorn.
Movie theater popcorn.
Exactly. And it came with us. So before we ate it, we put it on the table, took a picture of it. But we also tagged Sidewalk Film Festival. We tagged the Pizitz because Sidewalk is, located in the Pizitz. We
City of Birmingham.
City of Birmingham.
Maybe half the staff is Sidewalk.
And from that tagging, all that before we hit post, all those people that we tagged were then notified. They all wanted to share the content as well. They put it on their Instagram stories. Some of them reposted it onto their own feed. They all commented. People of those friends commented. And, this post had a lot of engagement because of promoting. And, of course, Sidewalk Film Festival being nonprofit,
it's a great way to support them.
And support the community just by...
Yeah. It came with everything in the photo except for the koozie. The koozie is from our personal Birmingham koozie stash.
Which is huge.
So, yeah. And then we have our sidewalk magnet, all that. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And again, tag people in the post. If you're wearing like an Aviate hat or Alabama Peanut Company t-shirt, you can tag them in the post. They'll get notified. And you can do that in your stories, and you can do that in your evergreen action. It makes it really easy to share it.
And also know too that if you've already got a post up, you can go in and edit it and add your location tag now, and tag people in the photo or tag other businesses in the photo as well. So you can still do that.
Don't be afraid to edit.
Yeah, don't be afraid to edit.
All right, so we want you to emerge from this energized and educated. Now is the perfect time to experiment with social media. Like we said, don't be afraid. Just get out there, try it out. A lot of times, Amber and I will see something that someone else does that we follow. I'm like, how do they do that? So we'll hop on YouTube and we'll ask. Sometimes we'll ask them directly, but I like to call it YouTube University. We first started out, we did lots of research.
Yes.
And if you take the time, which now you should have a lot more time on your hands.
You may have more time.
May have more time on your hands.
Assume.
I have more time on my hands. Yeah, you can do that and build up your social media confidence. The more you play around with it, the more confident you are. And that way you have a better idea of what to do next and how to incorporate it. And the relationships you're building now are going to last well into the future. Amber mentioned creating customers. I mean, that's really what's going to come out of this. We're tightening our community, which is already tight knit. And I really do think Birmingham is in a much better position to weather the storm than some of the other cities in the U.S. We're very fortunate in that regard.
Strong community here. And just touching back on experimenting on social media, you need to constantly be on it as well because, for instance, Instagram stories just recently released this thing where you can tag gift cards and tag different businesses.
Delivery services.
Yeah, delivery services on your Instagram stories. So just knowing that, oh, let me try this out. Let me see what happens when I actually tag it. If you tag it and it goes out there and nothing happens, you can delete that Instagram story. Nobody has to see that. But just knowing that social media is always changing. Your Facebook platform is always changing. Twitter, now there's TikTok and all that. But one thing that doesn't have to change is you putting that positivity out there. People are going to remember that, knowing that you helped them through this tough time. And we're not telling you to be out there and be fake. If you're not happy, you don't have to go out there and put on a happy face. And then, as soon as you turn off the camera or wipe off your makeup, we just know that we'll all get through this. We're all going to get through this. So you don't have to put on that fake happiness. You know what I mean? Like, you can be positive without faking happiness.
Yes. That's very true. It's okay to be a little bummed out. You're stuck in your house. You can say, "Well, I started these home projects," and So just being authentic and just sharing your story with people. Also, it's a great time just to add this, to do a who you are, your why. Everyone talks about the why before the how, like why you started your business.
Yes.
How you want to help people, what motivates you to get up in the morning and do what you do. Why do you miss being able to do what you do? When you share your why and you share your personal connection, that resonates with people so much. And social media, Insta stories is the best way to do that. People have so much more screen time right now because they're on their phones and tablets and devices more. It's a good time to take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
So, and encourage them. So that's all we got. We have our handles right here, which we will share later on. But yeah, if you have any questions, it looks like we got one. We'll throw it back to
maybe Kim.
Yeah, we'll throw it back to Kim real quick. So here we go.
Can she hear us? Uh-oh. Are you muted?
There we go.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Do we hear you? Nope.
Okay.
Oh,
there we go.
There we go.
Of course, I'm like having so many technical difficulties. It's like, why now?
I know. Right?
That's how it goes.
I know. So this is actually a great question. But if anybody participating has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat or the Q&A box. Because we all learn when there's no silly question. We learn from your questions. But this is a great question. So this question is, I market for express oil stores around the Atlanta area. How do I come up with creative content while I can't travel to the stores? And I'm working from home in Birmingham.
Ooh.
Okay.
So yeah,
so
that's a good one. Yeah.
So one thing you could do, since if people at those locations have smartphones and they can take a good photo, you can kind of tell them what photo to take, or you could take a photo of them just working together, smiling, because Instagram loves smiling faces, and it's like, hey, here's our team working through this, because that's an essential service. Even though they're not driving as much, people need to maintain their cars, and so it's a good way, especially if you have some time on your hands now where you have time in the middle of the day that you can then take your car to Express. Just I would say share how that team is coming together and bonding through that experience. Maybe their gratitude of being essential, of like, hey, we're so happy that we're able to still come to work and share this. So you could have them do highlight certain locations and just kind of show them having fun, things like that. So if they can take a fun selfie, take a few and send it, you can pick the best one. I think that's a really good way. That would at least resonate with me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, these people are still providing a needed service for the community, and they're very appreciative and grateful that they're able to do that.
That's one thing that I do love about the way that ads have been restructured now, and different Facebook stories and posts, is that they're all so positive now about how we're here for you. We want to be here for you. We want to help you through this. And so I think just kind of putting that message out there is really helpful.
Yeah. Oh, I see a question. For those who don't use Instagram very much, what do you suggest on how to get started using Instagram for business? So now they make it super easy. You can actually go into the settings and you can actually request to be a business account. You can toggle, it'll ask you like, hey, do you want to make this a business account? When it first happened, I was like, I don't know. But yeah, that gives you more insights and things like that. But really just a great way is to post some photos, just fill up those tiles. So you have 9 or 10 posts, tagging like your business location, or maybe tagging the city you're in, because if you tag that location, it hits a broader market. And then your Instagram stories, if you go in the top corner, you can click the little camera button and you can swipe up and it'll take you to your gallery where you can add those photos from your gallery. If you have those, you can add that, or you can do a quick little video to introduce yourself. Kind of like who you are is always a good way to start.
So I know he just threw a lot of info out there, but one of the main things was to at least have 10 posts ready to go. So don't put them all up at one time, but just have them kind of ready, like your photo and your copy that you will put on those 10 posts, so that when you do tag people and they're looking at your page and are like, oh, there's only one photo.
So yeah, I like to say that you don't open up, like Publix wouldn't open up their store with just bananas on the shelf. You want to be a stock shelf. So when you start an Instagram page, what I would do is I would go in and I would put, 9 to 10 photos. I would add the copy, and then once I had those 9 to 10 photos up, I would go back and edit them and then start tagging people, because once they're tagged, they'll get notified.
Yeah.
And you're not flooding your feed or their feeds. So once you get those 9 to 10 posts up, then you can go in and start following some people, and they'll see, oh, this account looks legitimate. It's not just like one square, one tile, and that's it. It's just kind of a little bit more credence and legitimacy to have those few posts from the get-go, like Amber said. Yeah.
So this question is very related. It says, do you guys use any social media organizing programs, or do you use the direct apps?
We use the direct app for most of our stuff. Now, however, we're slightly different. A lot of our stuff, we're out and about on the fly. We're posting things, and we have the advantage of doing that. However, creating a content calendar is super helpful. Amber is so much than I am. I'm Enneagram type 7, which means I'm just all over the place. But,
ready for the party.
Yeah. I think there's a balance between being posting, but then be able to kind of adjust on the fly. The good thing about social media is if someone's like, oh, hey, we had a change, or this guy, you can go in and change it immediately. Very helpful. Yeah. So I would say for us, mostly we do it through the direct app. But a lot of times I'll type the copy ahead of time, like if we're hosting a giveaway or something like that, I'll type it in Google Docs. Then I can just highlight, copy, and paste it into the app. So I'm not having to sit there on my phone and type that out when it's time to post that. And there's plenty of third-party apps to look into that as well.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question. As a writer, I go back and forth with blogging. Do you still find blog posts to be as a useful platform to gain interest?
Yes. So here's the good thing about blogging is when you do a blog post, you can then share that link across your social media platforms. So that's evergreen content that can then be shared across multiple platforms. So that's very helpful. So, your website kind of operates as like where your content lives, but then you're using the megaphone of your social media presence. I actually was talking to Nate Schmidt with Techstars at ISCF Birmingham about this. And we both kind of came to the same conclusion that if you start blogging, you should do it for a year without expecting any major results, because it's like building equity in a home versus buying like AdWords where you're just paying, and when you're paying, it's gone. You're building that organic reach. And we had a lot of doors opened for us, fortunately, because of our blogging. When we first started, people saw that content and said, hey, let's partner together. And that really helped us out. So yes, it does have a lot of long-term results that you might not see immediately. But I definitely look to it for a quick fix, but it's definitely just as valuable now as it was to begin with. It's just, I think people look at like, if I start blogging, my blog will just take off within 30 days. Right. I think there's a misconception about that.
And, especially now during this time, everybody is using their screen. Everybody's online on their phones and reading more. So, I agree with that with the blogging.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a good source like to produce a lot of social media content, and you can go back to it like a year later, and it's still, I mean, if it's evergreen content, like it seems like a brand new idea.
Yeah, so update it. Like you can go back and you can update it. Say, hey, like we did a write-up on this restaurant. Now they've expanded. You can do, and you can put up there like, hey, this has been updated on this date. So yeah.
Okay. Next question. Also, do you have any suggestions on how nonprofits like churches can attract new followers?
Yes. Share.
You're the more creative one. I'm numbers. Okay.
So I would say engagement, especially now, a lot of churches are doing Facebook Live services, which they can share. One good thing about Facebook is once you post it, you can reshare it. You can share that link so other people see it. So engagement with that, commenting. So let's say you have a church Instagram page, just, following the hashtags or following the location tag for that. You can comment on that as well. So just getting out there and putting out that positive content on social media is a good way to do it.
So, in addition to going through and location searching and commenting, just genuinely nice things, not like, hey, join my church, which, because we understand. Then those people are interested in you and they click on you. But one thing we always encourage is that if you have a core group of family or friends, so I guess
Your
in
tribe.
this case, yes, and like we always put an alert out to our friends, like, hey, we're about to do a live. You guys want to, log on and like. So just because that's our support system and they don't mind. So for a church, maybe like some core people in your group, or encourage it in like the different Sunday school classes.
Email list.
Share. Yeah. Hey, if you ever see a post about a church, we encourage you to share with others because y'all's mission is to, it's to grow the kingdom. So yes.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
What she said.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. Can you explain the difference in hashtags versus and how this works?
Sure. So an will tag someone directly, especially on Twitter. If you someone on Twitter, it's going to immediately tag them. If you them on Facebook, it's going to tag them. And Instagram, same thing. They're going to see that. It's going to say, hey, happens to tag you in a post. And when they click on that it takes them to that person's page, whether it's their Instagram page, their web page, whatever. So that's where you're tagging someone directly. If you them inside of an Instagram story, it's going to show up to them as a direct message. So if we tag like 6 different businesses in an Instagram story, it's going to show up in 6 different inboxes as a direct message. So they will see like, oh, hey, look, they posted about you. And then if they share it, we get that notification as well. But if you use a hashtag, that is more so that if you want people who are following certain things or it's topically related, so like if I'm at work at Forge, I'm at Forge and I'm tagging them, I'll tag hashtag work at Forge. So if anyone ever clicks that hashtag, mine will pop up amongst the other posts. Another cool feature on Instagram is if you're looking at hashtags, you're searching the hashtags, you'll see the most recent and the most popular. So if you're going in and doing that location search, I'll add this. You probably don't want to comment on a post from 6 months ago. That might seem a little creepy. But if you go to the most recent, say, oh, that was 6 hours ago, then you can comment on that.
Yeah. So do you find, like I know at the beginning, hashtags were a really big deal. Are they still as active and as important as they were? Okay.
I definitely think so, especially on Twitter and on Instagram. Not so much on Facebook. We'll use our hashtag or something, but it's not as searchable. But on Instagram, especially, I always say that when you're first starting out, to use about 10 to 15 hashtags. You can divide that up in the body, so it's not like right there in faces. But using consistent hashtags on that, especially like hyper local, like hashtag Instagram Birmingham, Instagram BHAM. They have a lot of people use that in Birmingham, which is the CVB. That's one we like to use because that gets traction. But yeah, especially starting out using those hashtags. I know our friends that have a Airbnb cabin. They do hashtag tiny home. It's a 400 square foot cabin. Those things. So you're interacting with that community of people, and you'll attract followers from that community versus like your neighbors, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like-minded.
Like-minded individuals.
Yes.
Okay, I have another question. This is my question. That you said something, and I have never heard this before, and maybe I heard you wrong, but you were talking about, I think you said in the comments, you were talking about using, hang on, I took notes. Oh, okay. You were talking about how the Instagram algorithm doesn't like that, something in the comments, but I didn't realize that the algorithm was working in the comments as well. I just thought it was in the posts.
Yes, so the algorithm does all kinds of stuff, and the reason they did that is because you had a lot of spammy accounts that would just go in, and every so often we'll get like I like your post, you should try such and such day trading to make extra money. Like, and they're trying to eliminate those bot posts. And so it's a whole lot harder for a robot or a computer to type a legitimate sentence complimenting with someone on something. So it versus just putting some emojis. So it really, when we comment on someone's post, we'll try to write a sentence like, oh, that was so creative, or I love your work, or something like that. And sometimes we'll write, 2 sentences if we're really engaging, with that person on that post, because we're excited about it. One example of like the location tags and comments, I have a friend that does yoga for pregnant mom or expecting women and moms that just had babies, and she does yoga that's like mom friendly. And I told her, I was like, you should search the location tag for Brookwood Hospital because people post photos of their babies, and then you can comment like, I love that Alabama or that Auburn beanie or onesie. Oh, your child is so cute, that kind of thing. And then they say, oh, who is this? Oh, they do yoga for new moms? Yeah, I need to call that person. Mm-hmm. And so that's an example of putting like a legitimate, authentic comment, in a maternity ward location that are potential clients.
Yeah, so he's saying like if the comment is something short, like cute pic,
that's not
normally you're not getting,
So that damages your account.
I don't think it damages,
or not damages it, but it makes the algorithm not as ready to push your content.
Right, that's what it is. You just don't get as much of like a boost. And the way the engagement works now on Instagram is that you have now if you pull up your stats, if you have a business account, you click on the post analytics, you can see where people have commented, they've liked it, they've shared it. That as a direct message, they've bookmarked it and saved it. That's something. It will show you if they've clicked on your profile, how many interactions. But especially now, they're about to take away the likes. I mean, they'll be there, you just won't see it. So they'll have like the heart that you've clicked OK on. You won't see if the post has 300 likes. You'll just see that you liked it. Now you can go on the back end and you'll be able to still get that data to use, but it just won't show up on your feed because they want people to post it not just for likes. They want people to post it for content.
Right. I just lost the question I was going to ask because I didn't write it down. Yeah. So you said something else that made me think about something else. I think that everybody would really love to see a Russell and Amber TikTok video.
I think we need to get on
I am not a former cheerleader, so the only kind of cheerleading I do is
we're definitely way over 30.
I'm pep squad.
Here's the thing.
Oh, look,
I will.
People are already commenting in the chat.
So,
oh yes, please do a TikTok. Please
So here's what I'll say about TikTok. I've reserved it. I reserved the handle just to have it. I have a personal TikTok that I have just to follow people. I don't post on because I want to see the trends. It's definitely it's a younger generation, and like all social media platforms, Facebook started out for college kids only. We had to have our EDU address. We were amongst the first people to get Facebook, and then we're our age. And then
it's okay. I wasn't in college when it came out.
Now grandma's on Facebook. Instagram started out with just
not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, but now Instagram started out with like young kids posting flowers and food, and now you have the older population on there. Every social media platform that I have seen starts out with a younger demographic and will eventually trend older until it becomes not cool and it goes back. Our intern we had this past semester for work study, she didn't even have a Facebook.
Oh no,
I don't have a Facebook. So kids these days.
So you're saying when we get on TikTok it'll be older and then we'll make it not cool.
We'll make it not
We'll
cool.
make it not cool.
The whole segment of that. Okay, so I saw a question about someone asking about the dots on the hashtags.
I didn't see that one.
The reason why it's aesthetic. So the question was, why do people put vertical dots before putting hashtags? And it's so that it doesn't crowd your actual copy when you post something. You have it down there so it show up. Some people do it in the first comment. You can do that too. We usually do the vertical dots just so visually, you'll see the first few sentences of your post, and then you'll have to hit the click see more, and it just makes it aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, because everything on social media is so fast. People are scrolling so fast. You want to be able to catch their attention. And if in their view is
a whole bunch of hashtags,
they're just going to keep scrolling. So you just want to break it up visually. That's
another thing I'll say to that point that just popped in my head. When you're posting photos, you don't want it to be text heavy. Instagram does not like text heavy content. They will kind of like suppress the reach of that post. So have a picture of
that's my
have a picture of a flower or food or whatever, or faces, and then put the information in the body of the post. Don't put like here's the concert, here's when, here's where, all those words. If it takes up more than 20% of the photo, you're going to get limited engagement reach.
Okay, I remembered my questions, and if I can just keep going, but if y'all have questions, please ask. Okay, one, so how much time now do y'all spend going in and commenting on like not your followers, like looking for new people to engage with?
That's a good question. So not as much as we did initially, but here's the thing: is we can tell a big difference in our following. We'll normally net followers because you're gonna, when you have, I think we have over 30,000 on Instagram. You'll lose. Used to average like who unfollowed us when it was, yeah. But you can also see your net gain. So like, okay, you net gain 10 people or whatever, but we do see a big difference. So it is important. It's just setting aside time. So if we are gonna watch something on Netflix, we can be like, oh, hey, let's just pull up and go through and like some locations. One thing we'll do is if we go back when we had events, we had concerts,
right.
After that concert was over, or that big event was over, or Sidewalk Film Festival was over for the day, we would go to the hotel room and we would open it up and we would we'd search a location in the hashtags and comment on posts from that day from that event. So Sloth Fest is another one. When we had Sloth Fest, at the end of the night, we'd go in and we'd search those hashtags and comment on posts from earlier that day because people were very active on that. And that was very, very helpful in growing our following organically.
So how long would you say we do it, I guess, per day? Probably
30 minutes per day. Now, if there's two of us,
average,
that's
maybe
an hour. That's 30 minutes on my phone and 30 minutes on her phone.
I don't have as much time to do all that, right?
No, she's super swamped.
I'm on my lunch break.
Yeah. Aaron does payroll now, so people want to get paid. So yeah.
Yeah, especially now. Oh my goodness. So, okay, talk a little bit about, well, I was going to ask you this. What about your DMs? Do you reply to all your DMs?
Yes.
We try to.
We try our best.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of Facebook direct messages because I'm not a fan of the Facebook Pages app on my phone. It's bulky. It's not not user friendly. Instagram is great. You get those messages. Don't forget that you'll have that like request button at the top. And there was a time where I was like, oh crap, there's this request button, and I missed like 4 requests because it's very hidden. So you have to like make a mental note to check that. But we try our best to respond. And even if we don't have a direct answer, we'll respond with like, that's a great question. We'll find out for you. We've had, and this is a whole different thing, we actually have women that will message us and ask them to plan, like, I have a bachelorette party coming up, what should I do? And we've done that before in the past. I have planned out bachelorette parties for people. I thought
you need to add that to your resume.
Like, no.
He does it because he knows all the places, so he's so excited to promote these businesses.
Yeah.
So
well, ask like, do y'all want to drink? Do y'all want to do something like adventurous? Like what type? Yeah, we had this whole fun thing to do.
He can't help himself.
Yeah.
But no, we do our best to reply to all those, and also just be prepared whenever we do post something on Instagram or Facebook to be prepared to comment and like all the comments that you are getting. That helps your engagement so much.
This is a very important point. What happens in the first 15 minutes of a post determines how well that post is going to do over the life of the post. It's like surfing a wave. So if you catch the wave and then when people comment, you immediately comment back, that comment counts for the algorithm, and it's that interaction, more people will see it. So if you post something, don't do it right before you are going to be out of pocket where you can't respond to it. If you can, do it where you know that you can immediately respond to your phone and things like that. And find whatever time works best for you for engagement. So for us, we post late at night. That's when people are scrolling before they go to bed. That's our good time of engagement. Restaurants, a lot of times theirs is like between 10 and 11. People are thinking, what are we going to have for lunch today? Yeah. So that's a good time to get that engagement. So find what time works for you and post during that time and then immediately engage with those comments.
Yeah. Okay, here's another question that came in. I've found that it's easier to post to multiple Facebook pages from my phone rather than computer. Do you have a suggestion to make it easier to post to multiple pages on the web? She said, I have 9. But then also, I feel like it's kind of along the same lines that I was going to ask y'all too, is what is your philosophy about when you post something on Instagram? Do you just also post to Facebook? So those are, or do you do different? So those are kind of
So I've always
related.
said that each platform has its own native language or native tongues. So now Instagram and Facebook are a little bit more similar. But like I said before, if you share it to Facebook, that's fine. If you don't want to do double work, just share that content and just be sure to go back and edit it so you're putting the correct tags. It doesn't look like it was just posted, because if you go in and edit it, people who are scrolling aren't going to know that, oh, that was posted from Instagram. If you leave it as is, they're like, oh, that was an Instagram posting, just share it to Facebook. So I'm not all about doing double the work, but you definitely want to, like, Twitter speaks a different language than Instagram. Instagram's visual. Facebook is more, in-depth as well. So definitely I try to customize it per platform based on what gets more engagement where. Now, if you have 9 different platforms, you're trying to share the
different
pages.
Yeah, so unfortunately, like with the app, they limit how many pages you can, I have maxed out how many Instagram accounts I can be logged into at once, because I'll be doing, some nonprofit work or, some organizations I'm part of, and I'll be logged in. It's like, you can't log in to more than, I think now it's like 4 or 5 accounts on my one device. And so I have to log out of one and log into another.
Yeah.
So,
but I know posting on Facebook on a PC is, I guess you can more hone in on the, like, what you tag and the reach that you can do is a lot easier than being on your phone. However, we do most of our stuff. I think you do mostly posting on the phone.
I do. I will say I do like interacting with our Facebook business page more on a laptop or PC than I do on my cell phone. Just because I'm not a fan of how they have that particular app set up. It's just, I can do it. It just takes longer to pull up accounts I'm trying to tag and little things like that, little nuances. So,
you said the pages.
The pages are for each individual store location. Okay, so that's something that people with franchises have to deal with a lot, where they're not allowed to have the same page for all the franchises. So I would say you really have to do the work multiple times. Unfortunately, that's where interns are helpful. Or if you have it where you can have it, let's say, saved in a Google Doc or a Word doc, you can copy and paste it. So if you have Google Docs on your phone, you can type it on a PC. You can pull up Google Docs on your cell phone, like through the app, and then you can copy and paste it into Instagram.
I wonder if something like Hootsuite or the Later app would be more helpful for her.
Yeah, that could probably work. It might be worth looking into if you could do it, connect those accounts. Because those locations, that's always tough. You have multiple locations, and due to franchise, you can't say, well, I'm going to be, burgers, because you might have other people that have that franchise in the area.
You have to do research on that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, well, it is 11:28, and I like to end when we say we're going to end, to be respectful of people's time. But this has been so great. Thank you to Russell and Amber. Thank you to the participants. As always, like, you shared such great information. Thank you. Thank you. So we will follow up with everybody who attended today. We will include this video. So if you want to go back and take notes or share it with somebody else, we'd love for y'all to do that. We will also include the Eventbrite link for our webinar for next week. So that's just going to be like how to create content and prepare ahead of time with free resources that you have now or a very limited budget. So we are excited about that as well. So that link will be in there for y'all to register for the webinar for next week. But we hope that y'all have a great rest of your week. We've made it to Wednesday, so hump day now. It's just downhill. We're excited about the weekend.
I know, right?
On Saturday and Sunday,
But another puzzle.
That's right. That's right. But definitely follow Happenings in the Ham on Instagram and Facebook. They are a delight. We're all going to be waiting for that TikTok video to show up. And Instagram, you can repost it there. So everybody commented, yes, please. So we will we will all flood your DMs until we see that video.
I hope y'all like cats because Amber's in it. It's gonna be a cat.
That's right. I just teased it. But thank you all so much. And thank you for everybody who attended today. We hope that it was helpful.
Thanks.
Have a great day. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.